Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Sundays Are for Worship, and I thought it would be important for me to do a video blog this time because I'm an amateur writer, and so I'm learning how to communicate emotion through words. But this topic that I wanted to talk to you about today is so near and dear to my heart that I didn't want to run the risk of you not feeling or seeing or reading the passion that I have, so I thought I would do it to you in person. This week we're going to be talking in continuation with the birthday celebration that my husband and I are doing for an organization called L146. And so this year we've decided to donate our birthdays in order to raise money for this organization that works to prevent and provide aftercare for girls who have been either rescued or who have ran away from the sex trafficking industry all across the world. So, my involvement with this organization started when I had this horrible nightmare. I mean, it was awful. And the nightmare was that I was in this brothel. I woke up in a brothel, and there were girls all around me. And I remember when I realized where I was and what was going on around me, I got this sick feeling in my stomach. And so, for some reason in my dream, this brothel let girls go home for the weekend. I don't know if that's a real life thing or if that's just a dream thing. But I went home, and I remember just searching frantically all over the city for my husband and for my pastor and for all like these big buff men in my life to tell them that I was trapped and that I needed them to come get me. But I went home and nobody was there. There was nobody to be found in my city. And so I went back to this brothel and I got my journal and I started writing all the names of the people that I was going to try to find from the next weekend on to try to communicate to somebody this situation that I was in. And as I was writing, the girl who I guess was sitting next to me kind of nudged me, and I looked up, and the headmaster in my dream was coming towards me, and so I slipped my red journal under my leg. And at that time, somebody had told him that I was trying to run away. And he grabbed my hand and he said that the punishment for trying to run away was that he was going to drill a hole into my hand for every single time I tried to run. So he got the screw, and I remember waking up in this excruciating pain, and it was right where he was in my dream where he was drilling, and I woke up with that same pain in my hand, and my hand wasn't asleep. It's nothing like freaky or supernatural that I know of, but I remember thinking, I don't ever want to be in that situation, and I was burdened because I got to wake up. And even though it was an awful nightmare, I got to wake up in my own home with my clean walls and my clean floors and my clean bed, and I was safe and sound, and there was nobody after me. There was nobody selling me night after night. And it hit me that even though I got to wake up, there are hundreds of thousands of girls, millions of girls that don't get to wake up. They live day in and day out in this condition, and it broke my heart. And so I took it as a sign from the Lord telling me that I needed to do something about this. It's an injustice that I'd never really been exposed to, so I got on my computer and I started researching every organization, and there's so many wonderful organizations out there bringing awareness and doing something about this. But L146 we chose specifically because they work to provide aftercare for these girls and to bring them into what's called the round home. And I'll talk to you guys about that later on this month, about how they strategically built a house to where these girls could feel safe and feel loved and feel cared for and start to restore and redeem their lives. And I think as the church and as somebody who leads worship, it is hypocritical for me to get up on a stage every weekend and to sing songs of praises to my God and to proclaim to the church and proclaim to the world how good my God is, yet I don't do anything about the injustice. And so that's why I felt super passionate, and Tyson and I have really just dived into this organization because we feel like we need to do something. We need to to let the worship be an outflow. And so that's why I wanted to put this in Sundays Are for Worship, because I wanted to encourage you as well as to remind myself that our worship can't sit in a building, and our worship can't consist of a guitar or of a stage or of microphones or even of a community. The worship has to go out. It has to do something. Otherwise, we look like crazy lunatics singing songs in a building for no reason. And in Amos chapter 5, verses 23 all the way down, it says, "Take away from me the noise of your songs." And this is God speaking. "The melody of your harps I will not listen to, but let justice roll down like the waters and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. Did you bring to me sacrifices and offerings during those 40 years in the wilderness? For I am the Lord, the God of your hosts." And it's this reminder that God doesn't, He loves our songs and He hears our worship, but it means nothing to Him if we're not doing something about His people. And I've said this on here before, that passage in Micah, where it says, "He has shown you, O man, what is good, and what the Lord requires of His people is to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with God." So that's my encouragement this week with Sundays Are for Worship. Feel free to leave a comment or kind of give your 2 cents on what you think or what you're doing about this issue, or whether you agree or disagree. But I believe that worship consists not only of music and of celebration, but also of action and of ministering to people in the name of Jesus. So I hope you have a good Sunday, and I will talk to you later.